I'm Ingmar Spit. I'm one of the original founders of Tripwire Interactive like a couple of years ago. I was with the original mod at the time, with the mod team. Currently, I'm a level designer for Tripwire, and as such, I designed a couple of the levels for Red Orchestra 2. I think it's just a very, very rewarding game. You know, it's a game, especially Red Orchestra 1 was a game that was a little hard to master. But if you get it, usually people had to spend like 2 or 3 days with the game, and once you get that first kill is just very different from what you get in other games. It's because of the work you put in, and you get that money shot, long range, for instance. It's just really cool feeling that you get. I think the weapons are one of the features that, because the guys at Tripwire, we love guns that much, we put a lot of effort in making them feel right, exactly right. And that's something you don't get in other games. You feel like you're shooting plastic and stuff like that. It's the feel, the special feel that Red Orchestra has. I guess it's addictive. It's a dangerous place, but at the same time, it's a fun place to be in. It sounds a bit weird, but it's the weapons, because of the way they are and the fun they are. They also mean that if somebody else is holding it, it's very dangerous. I think we even added a couple of features that will help this feel of realism as well. One of the features that I enjoy a lot is bullet penetration, where depending on what kind of round you're firing, so depending on what gun you're holding, rifle or pistol or SMG, you can actually shoot through materials in the new game, which basically means like if you see somebody hiding behind a wooden fence, a closed wooden fence, and you're holding a rifle, you can actually try to shoot the guy through the fence. If you're holding a light machine gun, which is firing rifle bullets like this at very high speeds, you can actually shoot a guy who's hiding behind a doorway and try to shoot him through a single brick wall. Concrete is not going to work, but with that gun in your hands, you're actually powerful enough to shoot a guy who's hiding behind a wall. And that opens up a lot of new strategic possibilities and a new sense of realism that I enjoy a lot. One that springs to mind is the massive leap that we made in tank warfare, the way tanks look but are also operated. We're shipping with 2 tanks, a tank map, and combined arms maps. And the tanks are just, the first time I actually saw the interior of our new tanks, I was just in awe. So you must picture this, you're sitting in this confined space in our game, actually at the same size a real tank was, like the Panzer IV for instance, which is kind of small, but it still holds all the crew members. And what you actually see when you look around in your game tank is you see all these crew members fully animated, handling the tank as it's handled in real life. And that's just astonishing. It's like, it's a whole new world that opens up right there. Another thing that we added was making sure that the AI in tanks is introduced to help you operate the tank. Before you were a single guy in a tank just moving to different positions. Right now you're a full crew and you can still move between positions, but you're actually moving between guys. So if you like to drive, there's one thing I like to do, as I like to drive around in tanks and find hold down positions, help my gunner get a good shot. But if you're alone and you drive around, you see an enemy and you're in a good position, you might want to switch to the gunner, because at that point you can actually shoot at the target, but you can still command your driver to do things. So if you need to nudge a little forward, you actually press the forward key and you hear your commander say, "Move forward," and the driver will respond, the AI driver will respond by nudging the tank a little forward. So controlling your tank is way easier and feels more natural at this point. So that's a very big leap forward. That's something that John and Alan could answer you better. I have a very just on the side knowledge of that. I do know, however, that John and Alan have been going back and forth on what to implement and what not to implement. There's a massive amount of calculations going behind shooting a shell in our game. In real life, there are so many factors that you have to take into account when you fire high-speed shells like that. over long distances. You know, there are so many things taken into account, and John and Alan have been meticulously weighing what to use and what not to use. You know, what is still noticeable in our game and what not. And it's all I know. It's very, very complex, and it's in our game.